violate a copyright or you violate a patent, you know, and you didn't set out to do that. The heartbreak is how much it costs you for the amount of time and effort you just put in. And if you ever want to do business with that customer again, you're sucking it up. And, you know, that's cost of doing business and you're moving it on. And those are sleepless nights.
Yeah.
You know, they're sleepless nights.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we actually had, there's two examples and both of them, one is more frustrating than the next. One of the examples was a bird bath, a glass bird bath. And who would think that a glass bird bath has a copyright on it?
Well,
we are manufacturers of glass bird baths and we do a lot of them. And there was a specific design that our customer asked us to do. We said, I mean, we can't do the exact design, but we can look at it. And again, you sold it. There's no problem. This is the design we want. So we were going to give them two designs. One they specifically asked us for, and one was just going to be a variation of, you know, a new version. And long story short, the customer had been sued the previous year for violating the copyright from this design from the prior year. And they asked us to make a design that they knew was copyrighted, but there was some buyer turnover. And I get how it could lead to confusion, but they should have a folder and, you know, a better system, especially with who this customer is, who we won't say, but one of the largest retailers in the world. And ultimately, the company that was suing for the infringement was 10 times as pissed the second time. See, the first time they lost the business. And when they lost the business, they were pissed off. And so to get back at the retailer, they're like, well, we're going to come at you and we're still going to get paid. You didn't give us the business. The second time, they're like, unbelievable. Yeah. Because they know that the retailer, the money's not coming from them. They know the money's coming from me. So unfortunately in business, the manufacturers and designers often, if not always, indemnify these giant mammoth retailers and protect them from everything. Things like copyright, things like damages. So when you get a product from, for example, Walmart, and you don't like it, or you break it because you're rough on it, you return it and they don't ask you any questions. And at the very least, they say, well, we'll just give you a store credit. Yeah, this is great. Somebody pays for that. And shit rolls downhill to me.
Okay. So it comes back on the manufacturer.
Yeah, and it lands with me because I can't go back to China, right? There's this imaginary border that in the legal world, you know, again, good luck collecting from China. Right. Good luck enforcing that internationally. So, unfortunately, that was one example. So I got rolled under the bus, and then they backed the bus over me when they were, instead of just going forward. I mean, they made that one really painful because they came back for way more money than we ever would have made on that order. So. And again, you want to keep doing business with them, which we are. We're still making the bird baths to this day. So that's one example. Another example was, and this is another rough one. So we were doing a shower head kit. And these shower heads have what's called a three-way diverter. And the three-way diverter is what lets you go from the shower head to the handheld shower, right? Back and forth. So anyway, there happens to be a three-way diverter that does have a patent on it. And what happened was the guy who had the patent sold it to a company who goes out there and buys patents. And that guy bought the patent knowing that a ton of people were violating the patent. And ultimately went after and made lots of money going after people saying you violated my patent. And he was able to go back 6 years of violations that the original guy just basically, again, we didn't set out. Had we known, it wasn't advertised anywhere that there was a patent at the time. I mean, there was no way to find this information without spending tens of thousands of dollars and a lot of time. to find this information. You still may not find it. You're looking for a needle in a haystack when you're doing this stuff. So we didn't set out to do it, but it's one thing if a guy catches it in year one and says, knock it off, pay me my money and go away. Hey, we're done. We don't want to do that. We'll find a way around it. Okay. But this guy came back for 6 years. And here's what makes matters even worse. We weren't the manufacturer for all 6 years of the program with the retailer he was going after. So he goes after the retailer. The retailer puts the pressure on us to settle.
Really?
Or to make the problem go away.
Yeah.
We'd only done like 3 or 4 out of the 6 years, but we were going to aggravate the situation. So we ended up paying for 6 years when we were only the manufacturer for 4.
Really? Oh, gosh.
So, so those are 2 examples, unfortunately, of losing a lot of sleep